The UFC White House card is rapidly approaching. It is supposed to go down on June 14th. And while I have my doubts whether or not that fight card actually comes to fruition, I figured now has never been a better time than to build a UFC White House card. And you know what I was thinking? You know what? This is a fun idea. I've been down on MMA a bit. Q1 for UFC and MMA has kind of been garbage. I'm worried what the schedule is going to look like after the White House card if it does in fact happen. So I figured I'm not just going to build one card. I'm going to have fun with this. I'm going to build 3 cards. So what we're going to do is I'm going to build a realistic UFC White House card. I'm going to build an all-American UFC White House card, which I'm going to feature one American in every single fight on the card. And then lastly, I'm going to build a dream UFC White House card, my hand-picked favorite fights if I was making the matchups. So we're going to get into it in a second. I do have my doubts. There's going to be 6 or 7 fights supposedly on this card. I'm wondering if ultimately they have like 1 or 2 fights at the White House and then the rest of the fights are going to be at like Capital One Arena, because I just don't feel like the UFC, they're going to want to capitalize on this mega event and have more advertisers and have a longer run time. And I just don't feel like they're going to want to put an 8-hour card on the South Lawn. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to build a 7-fight card because right now the information we have is a 6 or 7-fight card. I've made this graphic with the help of AI. I will tweet out this graphic, and if anybody else wants to use it, any other content creators want to use it, I'll link that tweet down in the description. But let's jump into it. Let's start with the realistic White House card. I keep wanting to say UFC 300 card. All right, we all know what the main event's most likely going to be. It is most likely going to be Ilia Topuria. You guys already know where I'm going with this. Ilia Topuria finally returning from his divorce, or his alleged divorce, to defend and unify his lightweight title against current interim champion Justin Gaethje. Listen, guys, I understand that this is it's a fan-friendly fight, and it's probably what is ultimately going to be the White House main event, because you have an American fighting for a title in the main event. This is just too one-sided for me. I mean, Ilia Topuria brutally embarrassed Max Holloway, and Max Holloway brutally embarrassed Justin Gaethje. I know MMA math doesn't always work, but those were pure striking fights. And I know Gaethje got poked in the eye multiple times, but at the end of the day, this fight should be fun while it lasts, and we probably will get Justin Gaethje maybe face down again, like the way he got brutally KO'd by Max Holloway at UFC 300. But it seems as of right now, this will most likely be the main event of the UFC White House card. Ilia Topuria returning, which is massive. He's one of the bigger stars in the UFC. His striking is so elite and it's getting better. His boxing is unbelievable. His knockout power is crazy. He's on a crazy ass run. People don't think I give Ilia Topuria enough credit somehow, even though I used to be considered like an Ilia Topuria glazer. Look at the run he's on right now. Just coming off a KO over Charles Oliveira. Before that, KOing Max Holloway. Before that, KOing Alexander Volkanovski. The run that he's been on has been undeniable. And now he gets to add a veteran and interim lightweight champion in Justin Gaethje, onto his resume. And I really do believe that's what will ultimately happen, and which kind of disappoints me as a main event. But at the end of the day, it will be exciting while it lasts, even though I do believe we will get Justin Gaethje brutally slept out cold by Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria fighting, no matter who he's fighting, I'm excited to watch him fight because he's an elite level fighter and he has a very aesthetically pleasing fight style. Let's talk about the co-main event. The co-main event, I think, could be potentially, and I'm not 100% sure, there's some iffy fights here. I think it could be Alex Pereira fighting. He's the light heavyweight champion. Who does he fight? I think he could be fighting Cyril Gane for the vacant heavyweight title. And I know this could be the main event. I'm not 100% sure that it will be the co-main event if it happens on this card. Is it for an interim heavyweight title, or is it for a vacant heavyweight title? Can Tom Aspinall return by June? Right now it's damn near March, which is absolutely insane. So we're 3 months away, a little over 3 months away from this card. Is Tom Aspinall going to be able to fight on this card? Because if Tom Aspinall is able to fight on this card, we should probably let's take Cyril Gane off the board. Let's move Alex Pereira over here. We should probably do Tom Aspinall versus Alex Pereira for the undisputed title. That's the reality. This is a banger matchup. I used to think Alex Pereira would have no chance against Tom after watching that Ciryl Gane fight and that embarrassing performance. And then now he's saying he can't play with his kids and whatnot, even though he's dribbling a soccer ball. I would love to see this matchup. And you know what? For all the shit Tom Aspinall has gotten from the fans and Dana White and the UFC, let's reward him with an Alex Pereira fight. He got screwed over in the John Jones situation. He sat out waiting around. Now he's having eye troubles. So if he can return, let's let him return to a Alex Pereira fight. It seems like Alex Pereira wants to go up to heavyweight, but I have a feeling I don't think Tom's going to be ready to go. I don't think he's going to be ready to go. So I am going to leave on the board here Alex Pereira versus Ciryl Gane. I have a hard time believing it's going to be for an interim title. So maybe it's for the undisputed title and it's going to be the main event. But maybe just because they want that American aspect, they keep this in the main event and they still make this for the undisputed vacant heavyweight title. This is a banger matchup. Ciryl Gane is one of the few heavyweights that's actually an athlete. Which is crazy to say. He's one of the few heavyweights that actually has skills. The heavyweight division is straight up garbage. I mean, it's basically bums after like number 4 in the division. Look at Josh Hockett getting a jump up into the top 5 because there's nobody there. So Ciryl Gane's actually one of the few elite heavyweights. And we've seen how good Alex Pereira has looked. I know people don't think I give him enough respect because he's fought a lot of guys coming back from catastrophic injuries. But this is a fight that I would absolutely love to see. And it's going to be primarily striking. I could see Ciryl Gane mixing in the grappling a little bit, but I'm not 100% sure. But I just don't think this could be for an interim title. How are you going to move Alex Pereira up to try to fight for basically 3-division champ status, and you're going to make him fight for an interim title? I just find that hard to believe, and I wonder if there's some negotiations going on behind the scenes. And actually, I think if they strip Tom Aspinall or force him to vacate, or he comes out and says, I'm vacating my belt, I don't want to hold up the division, I actually think it's a great PR move for Tom Aspinall, who's been stepping in shit left and right, who's been doing the worst PR I've ever seen, because he will get sympathy. Oh, he waited all this time, he didn't fight, now he has to vacate the belt. And then guess what? He should be guaranteed a title shot upon his return. And he's going to either be rematching Ciryl Gane, which is going to be a massive fight after the first one where everyone thought Ciryl Gane was winning. Or if Alex Pereira beats Ciryl Gane, Tom Aspinall is coming back to one of the biggest fights of his career. So I think that is a banger heavyweight co-main event that is actually feasible, even if it's for the undisputed, because if they want to take that American angle and have Justin Gaethje main event. Okay, featured fight on the card. We're going to go straight down. This silver box is going to be the featured fight on the card. I'm kind of back and forth on this because I don't know, is Kayla Harrison going to be ready to go? Is she going to be ready to go? I don't know. She just had neck surgery. But if she's ready to go, we could do her versus Amanda Nunes. But she just had neck surgery in January. Is she going to be ready 5 months later? They made it seem, I didn't pay too close attention to it, but they made it seem like it was highly intrusive. So I don't know. There's also been discussion. So we don't know if this fight's going to happen, but it could potentially happen. But let's take this off the board for a second because we have another option, and I may or may have not started this rumor. I may or may not have put these breadcrumbs together, but what would be a banger and realistic option for the White House card would be Conor McGregor returning. He's getting his candy ass back in the octagon. He returns after all this time off, 5 years off, at welterweight against Carlos Prates. What a banger matchup that is. I know it's going to be an utter destruction of Conor McGregor, but if Conor is even close to his striking prime, which I doubt he is, but this fight would still be fun. And what's the point of having Conor come back and fight like a Chandler? That's going to mean nothing. Chandler's a straight up scrub and a bum himself. He's begging to fight Conor McGregor left and right. Dirty Mike. What an embarrassment. I hope he's not on this White House card. But let's actually, if Conor's going to come back, let's actually try to do something with him. But also, I think this fight's super realistic because the UFC doesn't like their stars fighting out their contracts. I made an entire video on this. He has 2 fights left on his deal. He may have a sunset clause coming up, which means he can basically void his contract. And he's going to cost more money than any other fighter on the roster in a time where the UFC wants to cut costs because they already have a guaranteed $7.7 billion. They don't need to sell pay-per-views. So I think they could diminish Conor on the way out and then maybe cut him loose before his last fight. Say, oh yeah, Conor, we can tell he doesn't have it anymore. We're just going to release him and let him go about his merry way and kind of really devalue him on the way out. And the UFC needs a fresh Brazilian star, and Carlos Prates has kind of been that guy that the UFC has tried to build up. So I think putting Carlos Prates, who's an elite level striker, super exciting, against Conor McGregor, who's going to try to strike, and maybe he looks somewhat close to his previous self. Maybe they put this matchup together for the featured fight on the card. I'm going to leave this one here, but this could be Kayla Harrison, Amanda Nunes as well. Maybe they put this as well as Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. If Kayla can fight, then my guess is she's going to be on the White House card against Amanda Nunes. Next fight we're going to get to, and we're going to go over here. I think you have to put some Americans on the card. I know right now you have basically just Justin Gaethje. I've gone over 3 fights. By the way, I don't even know if I said this, but we're not even going to do prelims. Basically, I'm just building a 7-fight card. I don't know. Will there be prelims? Will there not be prelims? I have a feeling they might do like a 13-fight card and do most of the fights somewhere else, but we'll get to that later. I think they have to put some Americans on the card, and that's why I'm going to say Sean O'Malley will be on the card. But who will he fight? Will he fight Petr Yan? I don't know. Petr Yan's injured. Will he fight, maybe Umar Nurmagomedov? I think they will book him against Corey Sandhagen on the UFC White House card. It just makes a lot of sense. People have been clamoring it for a while. It's an exciting matchup. Both are primarily strikers. And I think the direction the UFC has been headed is not only what is exciting, but what did the casuals think is exciting? And it's basically just, any grappling, any clinching is no good. And what do you guys notice about all these fights? I'm trying to build a realistic fight card here that the UFC would actually put together. I'm curious if this fight card actually does happen, how many do I actually get right? I think Sean O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen is a banger matchup. I wonder if I should be giving you guys predictions for these fights. I'm just thinking about that right now. I mean, obviously I already went over. I'm going Ilia Topuria in this one. Yeah, maybe after I go through the full card, I'll give you a prediction for every single fight. Okay. So Sean O'Malley, Corey Sandhagen. I mean, it's an interesting striking matchup. Corey Sandhagen's been calling for that fight for a while. They're both Americans. Sean O'Malley smokes weed. He's edgy, man. He hangs out with the Nelk boys. It's the fight to make. They're both ranked top in the division. They're both former title challengers. Sean O'Malley's got whooped by Merab a couple times. Now he's claiming he wants to wait for a Petr Yan title shot. They could very well do a fight card like this, featured fight, Petr Yan versus Sean O'Malley. I don't think Petr Yan's going to be ready. He had some type of back surgery or something. So I think the next best thing, they're probably not going to put him against Umar. Maybe they will after the recent contract discussion of Conor Ben. But I think the fight right now, a winnable fight, aesthetically pleasing, style-wise, exciting matchup would be Corey Sandhagen versus Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley coming off the win against Song Yudong. Corey Sandhagen, I'm trying to remember his last fight. I don't have it in front of me. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I'm trying to think who Sandhagen just fought. Didn't he just lose to somebody? Yeah, he lost to Merab, was his last fight in the title fight. So kind of trading wins and losses in his most recent fights. He needs a fight to bounce back. Could he beat Sean O'Malley? I don't know. But either way, it would be a very exciting, striking matchup. And it's a fight that I feel like has been talked about by hardcores forever. Let's get Sean O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen. It's a striker's delight, man. Corey Sandhagen's footwork. And I do actually really like that fight a lot. So this card I'm building, I know it's a realistic fight card, but I also do like the majority of these fights. Okay, next fight we're going to put on the card. I'm debating. What I have outside of the screen is I have a bunch of fights lined up, but I was unsure exactly what order I was going to go in outside of main and co-main. You know what? We need 3 more fights on the card. The next fight I'm going to put on the card, again, with the theme, we need some Americans. I'm going to go with Bo Nickal, Bummy Bo, Quitter Bo, versus none other than Colby Covington. I want to see this fight. I actually want to see this fight. And at the end of the day, look, you have American versus American, American versus American. That's the only way a lot of these guys can win. I hate to say it. I know people are going to be like, Joe, you hate yourself. You're American, blah, 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 blah. No, if we want an American to win, we got to book Americans versus Americans. Okay? So, Bo Nickal, who quit against RDR and looked like an absolute bum, did he come back? He got a win against the jiu-jitsu guy, Rodolfo Vieira. Colby Covington hasn't won a fight in 4 years. He's been sucking off Trump for 150 years, basically for his entire fan base. Bo's on Ariel Helwani's show saying, Colby doesn't love Trump as much as I do. I'd like to see them fight each other. They had the little dust up at the press conference. It's a realistic fight that the UFC could put on. I don't know if Colby's willing to take that fight, but if he's on his way out And he really does love Trump as much as he claims to, even though Bo doesn't believe it. Bummy Bo, ginger bitch Bo doesn't like it. Why not? I mean, Bo's a winnable fight comparatively to the rest of the welterweight division. So go up the middleweight. He's talked about it. He's calling out Patty Pimblett. He's doing this and that. That's probably what he really wants. He thinks he can beat Patty. But let's these two wrestlers fight each other. Let's find out who's the best. I think Bo probably wins that fight. He's the better striker. Plus, Colby hasn't fought in so long. He hasn't fought since Buckley, which was what? December 2024, when he got embarrassed against Buckley. Walked out Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan died because that performance was so shit. I mean, so I think that's the fight to make. They've been talking back and forth. Bo's been begging for the fight. I don't know if Colby will take it, but if we want some Americans to win, and they put Bo Nickal on the UFC 300 card, they're probably going to put him on the White House card. He sucks off Trump too. I think that's the fight to make. I would absolutely love that matchup to get made at the UFC White House card. And I think it's a realistic fight the UFC could put on. Okay. Realistic fight card. Because this next one pains me. So if you're going to have a realistic fight card, I do think we need some American versus, other nationalities, other, countries of origin. And as much as it pains me to say, I want to see Benoit Saint-Denis. That's not the part that pains me. I want to see him on the card. Again, common theme, super exciting. And if we're going to have Benoit Saint-Denis on the card, we need a guy representing the stars and bars, man. Let's do Benoit Saint-Denis versus Dirty Mike Chandler. I think that's a banger. I think that's a banger matchup, especially considering Michael Chandler. I want to see him get absolutely destroyed. I think Benoit Saint-Denis destroys him. But it's compelling enough because BSD is kind of crazy and wild. We saw a fought in the Dan Hooker fight, struggled to take him down early. Dan Hooker was kind of touching him up a bit. Chandler comes out guns a-blazing. He's trying to put on a performance for Kid Rock. He's trying to put on a performance for Donald Trump. He takes a participation trophy for jumping backwards with Charles Oliveira on his back. So he's going to try. He's at the White House. He's not fighting Conor, who he so desperately wanted. He might as well fight BSD. I know BSD is a little bit too highly ranked. Honestly, there's a couple other fights, and maybe you'll see him. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure yet. I have a couple extra fights on the sides that I'm like, I don't really know. I have this pre-planned, but at the same time, there's a couple ifs. I don't know if I'm going with this. I think Benoit Saint-Denis versus Michael Chandler is a fight that the UFC might put on that card. Benoit Saint-Denis, could he fight maybe for the BMF title by the time this comes around? Maybe. But Chandler's begging and groveling to fight on this card, and I hope the UFC makes him look like a little effeminate cucky vibes guy. But at the end of the day, I think they may say, you know what, Chandler, you've looked like a clown for the last few years begging for Conor. Let's give you BSD on the White House card. And that should be fun while it lasts. And Chandler's probably going to do everything in his power to try. He's going to beg and grovel to be on this card. I hope he's on the prelims at the Capital One Arena. There's nothing that would give me more joy. While Conor's fighting at the actual White House would be absolutely hilarious. But I think this is a really solid main card fight. So now we only have one spot left. I mean, this is looking like a pretty good card. Let me know what you guys think of this realistic White House card. It's almost too good. So if it's this good, we're going to have to put a couple bums on it. We're going to have to put a couple bummy fighters on it. And that is why, opening up the White House card, we are going to get Derek Lewis. Okay, Derek Lewis, he loves Trump, so he makes sense to fight on the White House card. And who should he fight? Derek Lewis on a losing streak. He's got to fight someone else on a losing streak. And I think Taco Bell Tuivasa is the right fight. I think they should market this fight as a you're fired matchup. Both guys on losing streaks, both guys looking pathetic in their last outings. And basically you have these two fight it out. They're two heavyweight blobs who have nasty KO power. Whoever loses is cut from the organization. But after they read the decision, you have Trump come in and scream, "You're fired," like it's The Apprentice, but he does it in the Vince McMahon voice. I think that makes the most sense because there's no way the loser of this fight, this is a rematch, by the way, there's no way the loser of this fight should still be in the organization. I mean, Tai Tuivasa, I swear on my life, I don't even know if I was born when Tai Tuivasa got his last win. Like literally, I'm trying to think right now. I don't have it in front of me right now. I don't remember the last time Tai Tuivasa won a fight. Let me look this up real quick. That's why I have Topology over here. I don't have every tab open. I mean, Ty's like on a 5-fight losing streak right now. Oh my God, he's on a 6-fight losing streak. He hasn't won since 2022 when he beat Derek Lewis. That's his last win. So Derek Lewis, flopped like a fish in that fight. Let's see if he can get his retribution. Let's see if Derek Lewis can get his retribution. He's a big Trump lover. He's always shouting out Trump. He says he wants to fight on the card. This card is already crazy stacked, probably better than the UFC will actually do. So let's have a you're fired matchup opening up the UFC White House card. So as far as predictions, really quickly, Ilia Topuria, he knocks out Justin Gaethje in the main event. That's pretty clear. I'm going to lean Cyril Gane, but I could switch my pick on that one. Carlos Prates sold. I would pick Amanda Nunes over Kayla Harrison if that happens. I'll probably go with Corey Sandhagen over Sean O'Malley. I'm picking Bo over Colby. I think he's too big, too strong, way better striker. I'm picking BSD over Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler's chinny and bummy, and he cheats every single fight. And then I'd probably pick Tai Tuivasa again. Derek Lewis, did you see how lazy he looked against Waldo? He just fell off a nothing jab. So those are my picks for the realistic White House card, which this video is actually going to be crazy. We're already 21 minutes long. Do me a favor, guys. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. I would greatly appreciate it. Let me know what you think about the realistic White House card. Is this better than what the UFC will actually make? And let's move on to the All-American. Let's move on to the All-American UFC White House card. This is actually a banger card, too. This isn't like a joke card. So where should we start? I don't know. I really don't know. I guess we're going to start in reverse this time. We're going to start at the very first fight of the night. That's what I think I'm going to go with. I think I'm going to go with the very first fight of the night. And for the very first fight of the night, for the All-American White House card, we got to put stars and bars. As much as I would love for him to sit out of this card, let's put stars and bars opening up the White House card. And let's put him against Mauricio Hoofy. Sign me up. Can you get spectacular KO? Can you get a more spectacular KO than Mauricio Hoofy, who just flatlined Rafael Fiziev against Michael Chandler, who hasn't won a fight since the dead corpse of Tony Ferguson? I know it's American versus Brazilian, but all the Americans aren't always going to win. We see these Brazilian cards. We see these UK cards where guys from that country lose all the time. So I think Mr. Stars and Bars, Michael Chandler, should probably fight Mauricio Hoofy. I was just fantasizing about a spinning wheel kick, Bobby Green style. So yeah, I think that's a good, exciting fight to open up the All-American fight card. Obviously with that one, Mauricio Shogun Rua absolutely flatlines Michael Chandler. And this is just a fun fight. And honestly, I'm just a sick, twisted individual that I want to see this because Dirty Mike cheats in every single fight. And the way he's been groveling for Conor McGregor, a civilly liable rapist, over the last couple of years has been absolutely sickening. And so I really want to see him get absolutely brutalized. Now I got to remember what order I went in and the way I put the order. All right, well, they're all main card fights anyway. So let's do for the next main card fight, Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley, common theme for these cards that we're building here, okay? We're going to do Sean O'Malley. We've already seen Sean O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen. I don't want to do the same fight. I want to do a better fight. A fight that I think the UFC should do, but maybe they won't, but maybe they will now. I want to see Sean O'Malley versus Umar Nurmagomedov on the White House card. This is a banger. And again, the theme of this card, this is the All-American White House card. We're at least having one American in each fight. That's a banger matchup. We have American versus Dagestani. We have fake off-brand Family Dollar Sean O'Malley, Dana White privilege, little teacher's pet Sean O'Malley versus Umar Nurmagomedov, who is coming off a decent win against Davison Figueiredo, coming off a decent win against Davison Figueiredo, as well as Mario Batista. And even though Sean O'Malley doesn't deserve a title shot, a lot of people are putting him in discussions. Let's have them fight each other. They both fought on UFC 324, and they should have fought each other. And this is a fight that's kind of been talked about for a while. Umar wants to stay active. We don't know when Jan's going to return. He's probably fighting Merab in the trilogy. That's the fight that should be made. So in the meantime, if you're going to talk about Sean O'Malley getting a title shot, let's let him earn that title shot. And Umar Nurmagomedov, I want to see him against Petr Yan. So if he can go out there and beat Sean O'Malley, I think he would be right there deserving for a title shot. And if O'Malley beats Umar, I really don't have a massive problem with him getting a title shot, depending who else in the division and what kind of streak they're on and what kind of context changes within the division. I think this is a banger fight card to put on the All-American fight card. The next fight we're going to get to And this is really a heater. We need some Americans. So another common theme. Okay, he was on the last card, but we're going to throw him on this card as well. We're going to do Colby Covington. We're going to put him on this card. But this time he's not going to be fighting Bo Nickal. We're going to give him a more exciting matchup, a funner matchup, a fight that would have a lot of really solid buildup and would have fans polarized on both sides. Let's do Colby Chaos Covington. Ain't never seen any chaos from this motherfucker ever. Let's put him against Bilal Muhammad, former champion Bilal Muhammad. I want to see this fight, man. I know it kind of doesn't make sense considering Colby should be out of the rankings. Hasn't won a fight since 2022 against Jorge Masvidal, the dead corpse of Jorge Masvidal. But this is just fun, man. And if Usman doesn't want to fight Bilal Muhammad, let's do Colby Covington. Colby Covington doesn't want that fight either. I mean, this one's not going to happen. I don't think Colby would accept this fight in a million years because Bilal essentially is a far better version of Colby Covington. Pressure, pace, wrestling, has way better striking in my opinion, and also actually has credible wins over the last few years. You know, he lost to JDM in a razor close fight, outright war, primarily striking. Colby would get demolished by JDM. Well, actually, you know, Colby might be able to grapple him. JDM looked horrible against Basil Hafez, but I doubt it. An old washed up version of Colby, and I didn't even ever think he was good. I think this would be a banger matchup. They're both Americans. Okay, they're both Americans, but book them against each other. I think this would be a banger fight for the White House card. Next fight, this one's kind of a curveball. You guys aren't going to see this one coming. I want to have another repeat from the last card, okay, but a different matchup. We need Bo Nickal. We need old quitter Bo Nickal, RDR's little bitch boy. Who could Bo Nickal fight? We need him to fight a non-American this time, you know? I was trying to do Americans versus somewhere else. I think Bo Nickal has talked so much shit. You're damn near 30 years old. You're sitting around in your socks talking about fucking rumors with the boys. And man, I got a memory, man. I'm going to remember everyone talking shit. Shut up. Shut your mouth. Okay? You're a spoiled little bitch. And the fact that he's been talking so much shit while not fighting elite level opposition, I think it's time for him to fight some elite level opposition. That's what I want to see. So, what better matchup than the former champion, South African Dricus du Plessis? That would be a banger matchup, man. I know what you guys are thinking. I mean, Dricus would absolutely destroy Bo, but I don't know, man. I would pick Dricus, and I think Dricus probably does smash him up bad. But at the same time, Dricus is so sloppy and like so unorthodox. Maybe Bo could clip him and win. I mean, I think Dricus would embarrass him, but also Dricus's wrestling looked like shit in his last fight. It's against Khamzat Chimaev, fair enough. But maybe Bo in that Penn State wrestling, if Bo can't out wrestle Dricus du Plessis, but look what Khamzat did to him for 5 rounds, 50-40, did him and crucifixed him the whole time, then I think it's time for Bo to just get out of the UFC, man. You've been spoiled enough. You've been in the organization for years. I'm tired of people acting like he's Raul Rosas Jr. coming into 18 and needs to get built up. You fought enough bums. You got shucked off by Cody Bumdish. Now it's time for you to fight someone, okay? Dricus du Plessis needs to return after that humiliating performance against Khamzat Chimaev. Bo Nickal has already gotten so much privilege. Let's jump him up the rankings. I think Dricus is probably still ranked number 1. Let's jump him up the rankings. Wouldn't that be a fun matchup for the White House card? And if Bo can beat Dricus, give him a fucking title shot. Let's do Khamzat Chimaev. Let's do the Khamzat Chimaev fight. If Khamzat Chimaev is still at middleweight, which if Bo wins that fight, he better stay at middleweight. We need that fight. If Bo beats Dricus, which again, I would heavily favor Dricus, but it's not out of the realm of possibility how sloppy Dricus' striking is. Now, I think Dricus would destroy him with kicks to the body, and just honestly, just the physicality would be too much for Bo Nickal, but would love to see the American versus the South African featured fight on the card now. Another banger. I'm just putting together banger matchup after banger matchup after banger matchup. Featured fight on the card. We are going to have Max Holloway, potentially still the BMF champion. I don't know for sure. Is he still going to be the BMF champion or not? He's supposed to fight Charles Oliveira in a couple weeks. Who should he fight? If he defends that BMF title, let's book him on the White House card. Somewhat quick turnaround, 3-month turnaround against Benoit Saint-Denis. Benoit Saint-Denis is a savage, the god of war. Let's book him against Max Holloway. I think that'd be a banger fight. Benoit Saint-Denis beat Dan Hooker and then called for the BMF title fight. I think that'd be a fun fight. You have American versus Paris here, or American versus France here. This would be a banger matchup. Now I would heavily favor Max Holloway, but it'd be a banger fight while it lasted. I mean, Max Holloway's volume, his accurate striking, his newfound power at lightweight, and BSD, we know he's going to try to grapple. He has some decent striking. I just think this would be a crazy fight, man. BSD would go after him the whole time. It'd probably look similar to the Dustin Poirier fight for Benoit Saint-Denis. But if this, I don't really believe in the BMF title, but this is a BMF title fight if I've ever seen one. Benoit Saint-Denis goes out there to put on a performance each and every time. And the UFC is going to want fighters on this card that are historically super exciting. They're not going to want fighters that are going to stink up the place, at least in casuals' minds. Okay? And I know people are going to say, Joey, well, how are you putting this guy on the card, that guy on the card? We'll get to that, okay? But Max Holloway, BSD, featured fight on the All-American card. Max Holloway, BMF champion, if he can beat Charles Oliveira. And even if he loses to Charles Oliveira, maybe you throw Charles Oliveira in here, or maybe you just still do this fight. I wouldn't mind this fight. I don't think BSD would mind this fight either. So you could still make this fight. Even if Max loses, it depends how badly he would lose. Would he be able to do that turnaround? But I think that's a really good, solid BMF title fight for the featured fight of the All-American White House card. Next fight we're going to get to. What would an All-American White House card be without Sean Strickland? You know, this guy, I don't know if he still does. It seems like glazes Trump. He's kind of like your right-wing culture war talking point, you know, left and right. That's really what he does. He's just like, he really attaches himself to that kind of edgelord, right-wing grifter type style. I think he knows what he's doing to a certain extent, but at the same time, I think he's a little bit of an idiot. And, you know, if you're going to put Sean Strickland on the card, you're going to put him in the co-main event. I mean, we're going to have a title fight, right? So I think the co-main event of the All-American fight card should be Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland. I think this is an outright banger, boys. I would kill to see this fight. I am a little bit disappointed in myself for not advocating for the rightfully earned title shot, Nasruddin Imavov, which I do want. But again, if we're going to the White House and, you know, it's only 3 months away and we could still get Imavov his title fight before the end of the year, I would not mind Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland. And while I don't want to see Khamzat move up, if he does move up, let's give Imavov this shot. So sub in Imavov here instead of Khamzat. And let's put it for the vacant middle. No. I don't think. I guess who else would be deserving right now? I'm trying to think who else would be more deserving than Imavov and Strickland. Yeah, so you could do it for the vacant title. I don't know right now. Maybe I'm forgetting someone off the top of my head in the middleweight division. I mean, I guess you could do Dricus, but you're going to do Dricus. I guess you could do Imavov versus Dricus, but we're already having Dricus fight on this card anyway. So Khamzat Chimaev, Sean Strickland, middleweight title fight, co-main event, banger fight. And, I mean, Strickland looked amazing against Fluffy. Fluffy's no Khamzat Chimaev. I think it's crazy to me that people saw Strickland versus Fluffy and they're like, yeah, man, he's the guy to beat Khamzat. I think Khamzat would wreck him badly and embarrass him badly. And also, I know people call, oh, Khamzat's boring, this and that. Khamzat is one of the most exciting fighters on the entire roster. I will never hear that slander. Okay? Look at his past fights. He had one somewhat boring fight. I don't even think it was boring against Dricus. What he did to Dricus was amazing and incredible to watch. But even if you want to say, oh, well, it was too much wrestling, this and that, look at his previous matchups. Look at what he's done. You know, look at what he did against Robert Whittaker. Look what he did against Kamaru Usman. Look what he did against Gilbert Burns. Khamzat Chimaev, in my opinion, is the most exciting fighter in the UFC. Sean Strickland, jab and teep merchant, but Khamzat is going to press forward and look for the kill early and often. I think that is an amazing co-main event for the All-American White House card. All right, now we need a main event. Now we need the main event. What's the main event going to be for the All-American White House card? I'm wondering if you guys know what I'm going to put for the main event. The main event needs an American. And there's only one guy I can think of to headline the All-American White House card, and that is Johnny Bones Jones. I think John Jones returns to fight for the heavyweight title. It could be Alex Pereira, okay? It could be Alex Pereira. Maybe it will be. Maybe that'll be for the vacant title. We don't know. But I think we should do John Jones versus Tom Aspinall in the main event. You essentially have here, well, you do have American versus UK for the heavyweight title. I know technically Tom's champion, so he should probably be over here, but I went out of order a little bit. This would be an amazing main event. I know that, John Jones wasn't super interested. He showed interest in returning to the White House card. And I know people are saying, oh, he's scared of Tom. This and that. I don't believe he's scared of Tom. I don't believe he was ever scared of Tom. I think he just thought, that, what is it? This is a lot of risk for what? It doesn't really earn me anything. But now he looks at it as, oh, I get to go fight in a once ever type fight. This is never going to happen again. Chances are this never happens again. And John Jones is like, you know what? Just throw me in that card. I'll fight anyone, whether it's Tom Aspinall, whether it's Alex Pereira. The Alex Pereira option if Tom's not ready. But also, Tom waited all that time. He kind of was Michael Chandler, Conor McGregor a bit. He waited all that time. He ultimately didn't get to fight. Then he got eye poked, and then embellished it for months and went on a media tour. But let's reward him a little bit. If he's ready to go, for the White House, John Jones versus Tom Aspinall for the heavyweight title, which would be crazy to be Tom Aspinall defending his heavyweight title against John Jones. I think that would be the fight to make. So, look how good this card is. I would pick John Jones in that fight, by the way. So just quick predictions without a lot of thought behind it. I'm going Johnny Bones Jones. I think he finishes Tom, maybe with an eye poke. Khamzat Chimaev. I would go Max Holloway, probably by finish. I would pick all the three of these guys by finish. I would go Dricus du Plessis. He would probably finish Bo. Bilal Muhammad wins easily. I would pick Umar, but that would be a very interesting matchup. And I would pick Mauricio Hufi. But this would be a banger fight card. I'd be happy with this. And imagine if this is Alex Pereira. Imagine it's John Jones versus Alex Pereira for the vacant heavyweight title. That is a real possibility for the actual main event. I doubt it happens, but it's a real possibility we could get Jones versus Pereira if Tom's not ready to go. And there's no way they're doing Jones versus Pereira and not doing it for a vacant title. There is absolutely no way they would book that for an interim title. No way, no how. Absolutely not. So Tom better hope if they do ask him to fight on the White House card, he's ready to go, because this would be a massive opportunity. And all these fights are fun. I mean, again, American versus UK, Chechnya versus American, American versus Paris or France, American versus South Africa, American versus American. We have American versus Dagestani and American versus Brazilian. I think this, if the UFC really wants to go with the theme of having Americans fight people from other countries, I think this is the best card that they could put on. Let me know what you guys think of this card. So now the last card. And if you guys have been enjoying this video, make sure to like and subscribe. My dream card. Now we have a problem here because I have too many fights. I have like 9 fights here, and I'm not sure which ones. I know the top 3, but where do I start? Where do I start? I don't know. Listen, my ultimate dream card is some like fun fantasy matchups, but also they kind of make sense. And also I kind of stuck with the American versus so on and so forth. I may recalibrate this card at the end here after I get through all the matchups. I may decide, I may look at other fights that I have outside of this and maybe say, you know what, I prefer that fight. But let's start off with, oh man, there's so many good fights. I don't know. Let's start off with Colby Covington again. Is he on all 3 cards now? Damn, Colby Covington got on all 3 cards. And I think it would make a lot of sense to have him fight Udo Smedic, who just slumped out Jeff Neal. They're close in the rankings. I don't have the rankings in front of me right now. They're very close in the rankings. Udo Smedic wants a big fight. Udo Smedic talking about Trump in his post-fight. I think this fight would make a lot of sense in the welterweight division. And, you know, Colby Covington's got to get in there at some point. And if he wants to fight at the White House card, this is his one opportunity. This is his one opportunity to fight. And Udo Smedic deserves a big fight. He's on a good streak right now. That KO against Jeff Neal was absolutely insane. Highlight reel KO. I think this will be a really good fight to open up the White House card. All right, next fight. Man, I'm struggling. I have so many good fights. What else do I want to put on this card? Damn. And I think I already said this, but I'll tweet out this graphic if anybody else wants to use it, make their dream cards, any other content creators want to use it. I'll tweet it out, and then I'll link the tweet down in the description. What else are we going to put on this card? Are we going to put another common theme? Yeah, let's put another common theme. Let's put Sean O'Malley. Let's put Sean O'Malley here. Okay, Sean O'Malley again. Is he on all? I think he's on all 3 cards. He is on all 3 cards because him versus Sandhagen, him versus Umar. This is my dream card. This is the card I handpicked and put together. This is what it would look like if I was your matchmaker, okay? Because I'm booking Sean O'Malley. I know the Umar fight's fun. I know it's fun. Is this even in the right spot? Yes, it is. I know the Umar fight is fun. And maybe I could regurgitate that, but nah, that's not what I want. I want Sean O'Malley. Sugar Sean O'Malley. Just breathe, Shug. You're a champion, Shug. You're a warrior, Shug. It's almost over, Shug. I had no idea double leg takedowns were coming, Shug. The fight that I want. The fight that man, it really gets me out of bed. It really gets me going and excited for an actual card. Give me Sean O'Malley versus Peyton Talbot, man. Tell me this wouldn't be a straight up heater, man. Tell me Sean O'Malley versus Peyton Talbot wouldn't be a fucking banger. Tell me it wouldn't be a banger. Book that fight. I think Peyton Talbot wins, by the way. Man, that would be a heater fight. And I know it doesn't perfectly make sense, but man, Peyton Talbot worked over Henry Cejudo in his last fight. Let's give him a big jump up. And I think Peyton Talbot is who the UFC thought Sean O'Malley was. I'm a believer in Peyton Talbot. And I think he actually works O'Malley. And I would love to see, I know a lot of people probably never thought of that matchup. They're probably thinking, damn, Joey, you're making a damn good point here. This would be an absolute heater. It borderline makes sense for the division. And it's another exciting matchup. It's another exciting matchup because they both are primarily strikers. Neither one of these guys, I think, is going to shoot a takedown. Peyton Talbot's kind of gotten exposed in the past. Honey Barcelos. Sean O'Malley got embarrassed by Merab Dvalishvili. I think this would be an absolute heater to put on the card, and I would love to see Sean O'Malley versus Peyton Talbot. I mean, this is the type of matchmaking the UFC could do. Like, the UFC, I complain about this fight makes no sense, and the rankings don't matter. Like, I understand there's a gray area. How come sometimes when they're giving undeserved title shots, or they're making fights with a guy low in the rankings against a guy high in the... Why aren't they making bangers? It's always a dog shit fight. You know, I know some of you guys wait to... Yeah, look, I'll give you a little spoiler, okay? I was going to give you a spoiler for the main event. But we'll keep it. We'll keep it close to my chest, okay? So Sean O'Malley versus Peyton Talbot. Now, what else am I going to put on this card? What else am I going to put on this card, man? I'm not 100% sure. I am going to go with a banger. This is my card. I want my dream fight card. We got 7 fights. I am going to go Bilal Muhammad. I know you probably think Bilal on your dream card. Representing America as well, Chicago. He needs to get the fight that he deserves. He needs to get the fight that makes sense. Book him versus Kamaru Usman, the Nigerian nightmare. Okay? Hasn't been a nightmare in years. I need this fight, boys. I need this fight. Absolutely need this fight. That's a banger matchup. Why isn't this going in the right spot? Is this not snapping right now? Hold on a second, boys. I don't know if this is snapping right now. Yep, I have snap off somehow. So that's why I've been fighting with these ones. Boom, there we go. Bilal Muhammad versus Kamaru Usman is a straight up heater in the welterweight division. Let me make sure I got this right. I swear I don't got this right now. I think I got it right now. Let me go. Okay, there we go. There we go, boys. Tell me that's not the fight to make. They had to brush up on the podcast that Kamaru Usman refused to release. Usman, I mean, he won one fight against Buckley like a year ago, and now he's clamoring for a title shot, acting like he deserves to fight Islam. What an absolute joke that is. Bilal's coming off a couple losses, lost to JDM, lost to Ian Machado Gary. Usman won one fight against Buckley, but before that, how many fights in a row did he lose? 3 fights in a row. Khamzat, Leon Edwards ×2. Now does it ever piss you guys off when like a fight makes so much sense and it's just not made? And I think it's because Usman's clamoring for a title shot and begging for a title shot and thinks Ali's going to get him a title shot. He should be fighting Bilal. The Bilal Muhammad versus Kamaru Usman fight is an absolute heater, and it's a no-brainer, and it makes perfect sense for both guys. If Kamaru wins, now he has a win over another former champion. Does he have it? I guess he has some win. I don't know. Who else has he beaten? Former champion? I don't know. He has a win over a former champion. He lost to Leon twice, who Bilal dunked on his bald spot mercilessly. If he beats Bilal, then he's kind of in that discussion. There's a lot of guys at the top. You got Ian Machado Gary right now. You have Michael Morales in line for title shots against Islam Makhachev. So Kamaru's not there just yet, but This would be an absolute banger matchup to make. And if Bilal wins, he needs to win as well. He's on a losing streak. He's lost his last 2 fights against, young up-and-coming elite-level guys in JDM and Ian Machado Gary. One of those was a title fight. He's getting up there in age. So why not have the 2 aging former champions who still aren't completely washed up? Let's have them fight each other. They have beef. They have a backstory. The build-up would be amazing, I think. So this is a fight that I need on my dream UFC White House card. Next fight we're going to get to here. Which one of these are... you know what? I think this fight is an absolute banger. I think we need to do Dricus du Plessis. Okay? Dricus du Plessis. Who does he fight? And I'm putting it in the wrong spot. I'm putting it in the co-main event. That's not a co-main event. I'm dumb. We need Dricus du Plessis versus... This was rumored as a main event for another card, Brendan Allen. I mean, am I not spitting fire right now? Look at this card, guys. We haven't even got to the top 3 fights. Again, dream card, most likely not going to happen. Look at this card. This is what we could have. We can't have nice... This is what we could have, guys, if the UFC actually cared to put together the fights we actually want. Dricus du Plessis versus Brendan Allen. Look me in the eyes and tell me that's not a heater. Brendan Allen, Dricus have a little bit of beef. There's a little bit of backstory. Brendan Allen beats RDR. Dricus du Plessis loses to Khamzat Chimaev. Brendan Allen now, even though he lost to Fluffy not that long ago and Amavov not that long ago, he's had a bit of a resurgence now after beating RDR. I think that's the fight that makes sense. That's the fight that it's been rumored for a bit, so maybe that's the fight that happens regardless. There was talk of maybe like the Seattle main event, but Dricus du Plessis versus Brendan Allen in the middleweight division is an absolute heater I would love to see. Brendan Allen's striking has kind of gotten better. His grappling's really solid. His jiu-jitsu is really solid. He got mauled by RDR in the first round, faced adversity, took that fight on short notice, by the way. Fluffy pulled out. And now, could he beat Dricus? He could. I'm not sure that Dricus beats him. I'd probably lean Dricus. And again, I'll go through my predictions at the end of this. But yeah, I would love to see this middleweight matchup. Dricus is always exciting. He's sloppy. He looks like shit. He's a good fighter. But, I mean, it makes sense in the middleweight division. And I want fights that are not only good, I want them to make a lot of sense. And that also goes along with the theme of, foreigner versus American. Brendan Allen, American, brags about beating his children against the South African Dricus du Plessis, former champion. And if Brendan Allen beats DDP, he's right in line for a title shot. Who that might be against, I don't know, but he would be right in line for a title shot after that. That'd be crazy. Brendan Allen, what a career turnaround after losing 2 straight fights to Mavov and Fluffy. Then boom, he beats RDR, and then he beats DDP, and now he's right back in title discussions. Would be insane. His career was basically over at one point. So I think that is a banger fight. Now let's get into the real heaters. Now I don't have to think about it anymore. The top 3 fights I already knew. I had them locked in. For the featured fight on the card, remember, this is my dream card, boys. This is oh my God. I'm actually happy making this video because these are fights that I really want to see, but I'm also sad at the same time because I know we're never going to see these fights. But for the featured fight, we're having, guys, I'll give you a little spoiler. We're going to have the top 3 fights. All top 3 fights are going to be title fights. In the featured fight of the night, we're going to have Ilia Topuria defend his lightweight title. Is that in the right spot? No, it's not. We're going to have Ilia Topuria defend his lightweight title. Who might I ask? Who might you ask? You guys know if I'm building the card, okay? We're getting real contenders versus the respective champions. Give me Ilia Topuria versus Arman Tsarukyan, man. Give me Ilia Topuria versus Arman Tsarukyan. How am I putting these in the wrong spot? There we go. Absolutely love that matchup. Banger matchup. Arman Tsarukyan deserves this title fight. Smoked Dan Hooker. Smoked Beneil Dariush. Has been smoking people left and right. Smoked Joe Alvarez a while ago. Hasn't lost in forever. I know there's the whole injury, weight debacle, but we don't really know the true story. I believe Arman was injured, and they tried to push him to fight, and he said, look, I can't even make weight because I'm injured. And they said, oh, you can't make weight. And then they basically have a gripe. I know Gaethje's the interim champ. Let Gaethje fight McGregor or something. Let's give him a consolation prize. Arman is the uncrowned lightweight champion right now. And Ilia versus Arman is such a great fight, man. Both guys in their primes. Both guys haven't lost in fucking years. Both guys are well-rounded. I mean, Ilia Topuria is known for his boxing and his striking, which is nasty, and his crazy KO power. But at the end of the day, he has grappling too. He has elite level grappling and his jiu-jitsu as well. And Arman Tsarukyan has really good wrestling and top pressure. This is a fight I need to see. Think about how, I mean, this fight sells itself. These are the types of fights we should be putting together right now. Not Topuria versus Gaethje. Who wants to see that? Ilia Topuria versus Arman Tsarukyan is one of my dream fights. You could literally make this the main event. I'd be happy with it. I would literally be happy with this as a main event, and I'm putting this as a featured fight on the card. So think about how good this fight card is going to be. But yeah, I would love to see this matchup. This is one of those rare fights where I'm like, I'm not sure how it would go down. I'm really not sure, because could Topuria knock out Arman? Sure. Could Arman knock out Topuria? Maybe. Could Arman out-wrestle Topuria and beat him up on the ground and avoid submissions? Yes, he could. I mean, this is a fight. Like, I love fights where you're like, damn, both guys are on their prime. Both guys are looking unbeatable. Both guys are well-rounded. They don't have any holes in their game. And it's just like, it makes perfect sense. Arman's the legit bona fide number one contender. He weighed in as a backup for Charles, who he already beat. And then he went out there and smashed Dan Hooker, who was top 5 surging at the time. This should be the fight. There should have never been an interim belt for Gaethje versus Pimlet. They're like 6th or 7th best. Maybe 8th, honestly. Gaethje is the interim champion, but it's really, I mean, there's so many guys I would pick to beat Gaethje in the top 15 right now. Maybe even Manel Torres, honestly. It's crazy. Fair's the M I would pick to beat Justin Gaethje right now. I know it sounds crazy. Book this as a featured title fight, lightweight title fight on the UFC 300 card. This is my dream card, boys. This is my dream card. Co-main event time. Okay? Co-main event, dream card. You guys know there's going to be a common theme here, okay? We're going to have the prime best champions with the most personality and the most Instagram followers. And that is why we are getting Islam Makhachev. I just said that really weird. We're getting Islam Makhachev. Who is he going to fight? Is it going to be Ian Machado Gary? Is it going to be Michael Morales? It's going to be neither. Okay? It's going to be, I'm kidding. Maybe I had you going for there for a second. Okay? We're doing Islam Makhachev versus Ian Machado Gary. It's a fight to make. Don't care what anyone says. You know, people underrate Ian Machado Gary. I think you look at the welterweight division right now, he has the best chance at beating Islam. I'm not saying I would pick him, but man, is he well-rounded. Man, is he, I mean, his striking is getting better each and every fight. He has really good grappling as well. Look, he almost subs Shavkat on short fucking notice. Give him some respect, okay? We don't need to give him a participation trophy, but give him some respect. You look at his last few fights, he dominated Bilal Muhammad. He dominated Bilal Muhammad, a former champion, okay? Coming off a razor-close loss to JDM, or a close loss to JDM in an outright war. Ian Machado Gary dog-walked Carlos Prates, who's one of the best in the world, who just flatlined Leon Edwards. Give Ian Machado Gary the respect that he deserves. He took that Prates fight on short notice. So I'm so tired of people like hating on Gary for no reason. And he should be getting the next title fight. I understand you could say Shavkat beat him. That was over a year ago now. Shavkat's injured for the rest of the year. Also, the reason I set up these two fights is because if Islam beats Gary and Ilia beats Arman, I want them to fight each other at the end of the year. I want Islam versus Topuria at welterweight. Topuria can go, even though he doesn't necessarily deserve it. If he beats Arman, I'm okay with him moving up and fighting for the welterweight title. So I think this co-main event should be Islam Makhachev versus Ian Machado Gary. Would be an absolute heater of a matchup. And I mean, Islam looks unbeatable at this point. I would pick Islam in that fight. Grappling looks unbelievable. Look at JDM. I mean, looked like he never trained jiu-jitsu in his entire life, or really wrestling in his entire life. Jiu-jitsu looked okay. And man, I think Gary, people say Gary's not a finisher. Look at the guys he's fought. They're very rarely finished. So I understand that where the narrative's coming from, it's partially true. But look at the guys he's fighting. They're very rarely finished. Bilal Muhammad, very rarely finished. Carlos Prates hasn't been finished in many years. And before, when he fought Jeff Neal hadn't been getting slumped out every other weekend, okay? So for me, the co-main event, Islam Makhachev versus Ian Machado Gary for the welterweight title. Love that fight. Am clamoring for that fight. That's an outright banger of a matchup. Now it's time for the main event. I think this is going to shock a lot of you guys because the main event is going to be Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez. Nah, I'm kidding. That's what Dana White wants. It makes sense. It makes sense. And, you know, give Lopez a third shot. We got in the room. We started. There were sentences being formed. There was conversations being had. I really think Lopez deserves a third crack. And I'm kidding. Let me just stop. Anyway, now that we got that out of the way, what should be the main? I mean, look at this card. Guys, am I not spitting right now? I'm not. I'll even tell you the other options I had potentially to replace Colby versus Udo Smedic. For the main event, I kind of hate myself for this one because it's a little bit of an undeserved title shot, but it's not the worst. It's not the worst. A little bit of Dana White privilege that I'm gifting out for my own personal enjoyment, but this is my dream card. Okay, let me have my dream card. Main event, Khamzat Chimaev. I know people are gonna say, "You want a Khamzat main event in the White House, man? He's Muslim, bro. He's Russian, yeah, because he's Muslim, because he's Chechnyan, you know, not Russian. He's from the Caucasus region. I guess people are gonna say, "Oh man, he's a fucking terrorist, man." Yeah, we know. Hey, you guys, man. But we got to do Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland. This is my dream card right here. People came into my chat, my live stream while I'm watching Sean Strickland beat up Fluffy, and they're like, "Cope, brother. Man, you gonna cope?" Did I kind of want to see Sean get beat up? Yes. But at the same time, I need to taste the salty soy boy beta male tears of Khamzat Chimaev absolutely mauling Sean Strickland. I need that injected in my veins. And look, it's 3 months away. I get it's not super fair to Imavov, but Imavov can sit on the sidelines. He can wait it out. Khamzat beats Strickland, then they can fight at the end of the year, or maybe in October in Abu Dhabi. I would love to see Khamzat fight 3 times this year. Would love to see it. I don't know if the UFC is going to want him to fight 3 times because they're trying to be most cost effective. So main event, Khamzat Chimaev, Sean Strickland. The build up to this would be absolutely insane. It's an interesting style matchup. Sean Strickland does have decent defensive wrestling. I think he gets mauled. Okay, I think he gets mauled. But who knows? Maybe he jabs up Strickland's face, or he jabs up Khamzat's face, and maybe Strickland, you know, survives the early onslaught. And maybe you could say, man, Khamzat earlier, Strickland late. Khamzat earlier, Strickland late. I don't think that would be the case. I mean, we saw DDP shoot double legs through Sean Strickland and take him down with ease. I think Khamzat gets you down like that. He's not letting you up. So I think Khamzat would probably tap him. But it's still a fun matchup. Strickland's not like ridiculously undeserving, even though he is undeserving. And I just think it's the fight to make American in the main event, fighting for a title. Again, even though it's my dream card, I try to stick to the theme a little bit. Look at this beauty, guys. Look at this fucking beauty I just built. Imagine this. Imagine this card where I'd pay $100 for it. I'd pay $200 for this card. Matter of fact, if I was like Bill Gates or something, or a billionaire, I would just call up the UFC. If I was Turki Al-Sheikh, I would call up the UFC right now and be like, how much money do I have to give you to make this card? I'll cover the 60 million. I'll cover the 60 million. Just make the card that I want. Look at these matchups. Khamzat Chimaev, Sean Strickland, middleweight title. Co-main, Islam Makhachev versus Ian Machado Gary, welterweight title. Featured fight, Ilia Topuria versus Arman Tsarukyan. 4th fight down, Dricus du Plessis versus Brendan Allen. 5th fight down, Bilal Muhammad versus Kamaru Usman. I don't even know. You can do these last 4 fights in any order. Next fight down, Sean O'Malley versus Peyton Talbot. And last fight, Colby Covington versus Udo Smedic. If you don't love this card, you should be ashamed of yourself. Man, I'm spitting right now. I'm looking at this card. I'm like, why can't we make this? Why can't we make this? Why can't we do this card? By the way, I think I pretty much went over predictions for this entire card. Khamzat mauls him and subs him. I would pick Islam by late finish or decision, probably decision. I would probably pick Arman via decision, but it'd be a close fight. I may even pick Topuria. This is just an early pick. I would pick DDP over Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen's too soft, I think. And DDP, you know, he really does go out there and you know, he has willpower most of the time, unless he's getting crucifixed by Khamzat Chimaev. I'm going Bilal over Kamaru, for sure. Honestly, maybe even Chin's Kamaru. Maybe, probably not. Bilal doesn't have crazy power. I'm picking Peyton Talbot over Sean O'Malley. And I'm picking Udo Smedic over Colby Covington. This is my dream card. This is my dream card. And if you're wondering what other fights I had potentially, okay, I'll show you quickly. I had 2 other fights. I was like, nah, not really. I had Joe Pyfer. We'll just throw him off in the side real quick. Versus Bummy Bo Nickal. This would be a banger. 2 gingers versus each other. 2 Americans versus each other. I think it'd be a lot of fun. That's Joe Pyfer if he were to beat Israel Adesanya. I know it's a bit of a step backwards, but he's called out Bo in the past. And I think it'd be funny to see like the salty Joe Pyfer who grew up, struggled a bit against the privileged King Ranch Bo Nickal. You know, his parents bought him a King Ranch when he was like 15 years old, when he only had his learner's permit. And he's been spoiled ever since. The other fight I had that I decided to keep off the card is Michael Chandler, Dirty Michael Chandler versus Farziem. And to be honest, I left this fight off the card, not because I didn't want to see it. I don't want Chandler to be on the White House card. I don't think he deserves to be on the White House card. His last win was like 8 years ago against Tony Ferguson, the dead corpse of Tony Ferguson. So I would love to watch Farziem beat him up. It sticks with the American versus, you know, whatever theme. But nah, this is my dream card. I'm not having Dirty Mike cheating up a storm, sniffing fighters' assholes on my dream card. This is the best card. This isn't going to happen, but this is the card that I would put together if I was running the UFC. So let me know what you guys think of this card. And that's it. This is an hour. Oh my, this is an hour-long video. You guys got to let me know. What do you guys think of each card? So again, just to really quickly show you, here's the realistic card. Okay, I think this is a really solid card. I hope the UFC puts something close to this together. Okay, main event, Ilia Topuria, Justin Gaethje, co-main, Alex Pereira, Cyril Gahn. You can see the rest. I'm not going to go through them all. Then we have the All-American fight card, which I think this may be better than my dream card. This honestly, I might have spit so hard here. I might have been spitting facts so hard. This might be better than my dream card, to be quite frank. So I wouldn't mind this card either. It has my dream main event. To be honest. So you swap out Umar with Peyton Talbot. But either way, this is such a good card. Throw Chandler off the card. Don't want to see him, no matter who he fights, even if he gets hilariously chinned. I don't want to see him trying to put on some type of participation trophy performance for Elon Musk and Kid fucking Rock. Okay? And then lastly, my dream card. Let me know which of these cards do you guys think is the best. I think without a doubt my dream card's the best. But damn, this All-American card is so damn good. I'm looking at it right now. You know what? I think this card's better. So let me know what you guys think. Sorry for the long video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. There's some people that probably watch this. Maybe they're at work. Maybe they're just doing some laundry. Maybe they're just kicking it back with Clay Guida and the fucking boys. Yeah, this was a fun video for me to do. You know, I'm kind of down on MMA right now. And I started, let me build a UFC White House card. And then I said, let me build a couple cards. And so shout out to Jack, by the way. He gave me the idea for the All-American fight card. I meant to message him back. He asked me. I told him, you gave me an idea, but I'm not going to say it out loud. He gave me the idea to do the All-American fight card. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know your dream. Give me a list of 7 fights, your dream fight card, at least 5. Let me know down in the comments. I will post the empty graphic on Twitter for you guys to use if anybody else wants to use it. I don't know if they will or won't. I'll tweet it out and I'll link it down in the description. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully this fight card actually happens. I got a feeling they're going to do like 2 fights on the South Lawn and the rest of the fights are going to be at the Capital One Arena. That's my call right now. Maybe 3, maybe 4 at the White House. But I just think logistically, it's going to be too much of an issue. If it even actually happens, I could see this entire card getting canceled. It'll still be a banger card if it happens in Las Vegas or Capital One Arena. But let me know what you guys thought of the video. Like the video, share the video, watch it multiple times even, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.